got this. Okay, Kavya is not there. Okay, guys, let's move on. What is the agenda? We look at, you all have studied ratio and proportion. We look at what is the, we'll revisit those concepts. Then we look at continued and mean proportion and what are its uses. Then for grade 10, you have all of this. What are the theorems that you can use by knowing that two or more ratios are in proportion? And the reason you even need those theorems are to reduce and simplify expressions and to perform quick calculations in algebra. What are those properties? Can somebody read out the property theorems for me?
Invertendo, alternando, componendo, and dividend.
Yeah, fancy names, right, guys? Why do you think they're named like this? They
are they Latin names?
Yeah, like your Harry Potter spells, no? These simply because they were derived from the Latin names and nobody bothered to change them. That's all. Okay, and it adds a bit of color to your math textbook. You also have certain other properties are not listed here, but we will learn along the way. What's a ratio? Last class we learned.
Can I tell?
Yes.
Ratio is mostly comparing two quantities, and it does not have any unit.
That's it. Fantastic. See, Abhishek took my feedback so seriously. He is jumping the gun every time. I like it. Okay. In my classes, I want to see people fighting to respond. That is healthy. Okay. That's when the overall quality of the class improves. Ratio is comparison of any two quantities. Nobody cares what those quantities are. The only difference is when you compare similar quantities.
The quantities have to be of like type, right? Like the same type.
No,
the same nature.
No. When you talk about ratio, you can compare any quantity, any quantities. They can be of different types. They can be of similar types. When the ratio is of similar types, okay, like I can say chairs, okay, chairs alone, tables alone. When you have ratio of similar types and the relationship is part of a whole, this special ratio has a name. What is that? What is that?
Fraction.
Thank you. Why so long? So if you ask me, a fraction 1/3 is also a ratio. The only difference being when I say 1/3 is a ratio, I can say there is one bottle for every 3 chairs. Really doesn't make sense, but it's a ratio. But when I say 1/3 as a fraction, I mean I have one apple pie, I've broken it into 3 equal parts, and I'm going to give that one part of the apple pie to Abhishek. Clear? He gets the pie today. So this is the relationship between a ratio and a fraction. Awesome. What is a proportion? We all know. 2 or more ratios that are equal are said to be in proportion. Right, guys? Why did 2 or more? Because a proportion can have multiple ratios. 2 or more ratios, 2 or more equal ratios are.
Ma'am, how do you express a proportion with 3 ratios, ma'am?
Hey, somebody answer Daksh's question. Daksh is saying, how can I have 3 ratios in proportion? Somebody answer Daksh's question. Quickly, given.
1/2 is equal to 2/4 is equal to 4/8.
That's it. Daksh, got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Is equal to 11/22. Is equal to 24/48. Endless. That's why the word 2 or more. They are all in proportion. Clear? People? Okay. Forget whatever I've written on the below here, but the minute you have things in proportion, okay, we study the theorems for 2 equal ratios at a time. Got it, Daksh? That's why you might think in your textbook, it's always 2 ratios in proportion. In theory, you can have as many ratios in proportion. When you apply, you're picking 2 at a time or 3 at a time. I'll show you for 3 at a time, but in this year, you'll pick 2 at a time, apply the theorems. Got it? Okay. Now, 2:3 is a way you write. You all know this. 6:9. And what is this called? What the arrows that I've put? What is this rule called? Product of means is equal to product of extremes. Right, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
All this you know.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's move on. What is continued proportion or mean proportional? Okay. 3 quantities are said to be in continued proportion if the ratio between the first and the second is equal to the ratio between second and the third, which means, look at these 3 numbers. If I write 6:12, right, first and the second, and then take the ratio between second and third, how do you check if these 2 ratios are in proportion? Fiona,
Simplify.
are they in proportion?
Yes, ma'am, they are.
They are, right? 6/12 is indeed equal to 12/24 because basically it's 1/2. Such a combination of 3 numbers are said to be in continued proportion. As you can see here, when 3 numbers are in continued proportion, when I cross multiply, that is product of the means is product of extremes, 12 into 12 is equal to 6 into 24. Right, guys? 144 is 144. Or in other words, 3 numbers, any 3 numbers, X, Y, Z quantities are said to be in continued proportion if the square of this middle term, y squared, is equal to the product of the first and the third element. Do you all agree?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll write in ABC form. If I have ABC in continued proportion, then this implies B squared is AC, A into C, or B is equal to root of AC. Write this down. I'll pause sharing. Sorry, pause recording. Okay, guys. Now, let's look at continued proportion again. If we have 6, 12, and 24 in continued proportion, this term, if this is ABC, this term is called the geometric mean. What is it called?
Geometric mean.
Geometric mean. And this guy is called the third proportional. Because when I have 1:2 is as 2:4, sorry. Correct. 1:2 is as 2:4. In this case, this is first, second, third, fourth proportional, right? Like that. In continued proportion, the last term is called third proportional and the middle term is called the geometric mean. Okay, can I move on? Yeah. Why do you think the name geometric mean came about? One, because I'll tell you, there are 2 angles to it. One, for now, I want you to apply similarity concept. Look at this. Look at these triangles. How many right triangles are there?
3.
I'm 3.
3, right? ABC, ABD, DBC. Let's say it's the same triangle. I've blown it up and I've given AD as W, some measure W, DC as measure X, and BD as measure A. First, tell me how many pairs of similar triangles can you find? We finished this. I'm just repeating that. We finished this in similarity chapter. How many pairs of similar triangles, Shruti?
Ma'am, 3.
Tell me the pairs, darling.
Ma'am, ABD. Hold on.
BD is similar to which one?
ABD.
Huh? BD is similar to ABD.
No, I.
Who else wants to pitch in?
Ma'am, there are 5 similar pairs.
Tell me the pairs first. ABD is similar to
ABD, the same thing, like but in the bigger triangle.
tell properly, da. You all are swallowing. Is it ABD similar to ABC?
Ma'am, CBD.
Wait, come to the okay. Pick one small and tell the big one. Is ABD similar to ABC? Or ADB. You have to rewrite it. I'll tell you how to rewrite. First, look at these two triangles. Are they similar? Daksh, is ABD similar to ABC?
Ma'am, they are similar, but I don't think the order is right. Ma'am.
Yes, very good. The order is wrong. Tell me the order.
Ma'am, it should be ADB, ma'am.
ADB, ADB, because angle A is common. Angle D is 90 in this, angle B is 90 in this. Correct, people? Correct? And this two angle ABD, this small angle, is actually equal to angle C. Didn't we do this? Why, Shruti, you have forgotten? So next,
Sorry, ma'am.
Harish, tell me the next two pairs.
Ma'am, triangle BDC
BDC is similar to?
ABC.
First, pick the 90 degree. In BDC, D is 90. In ABC, B is 90. Okay. Then angle C and angle C is common. So I am left with A. Is that correct? Is this order correct? Chirayu, Shreyans, Hamsini?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, one small triangle similar to big triangle, another small triangle similar to big triangle. The fact that they themselves are similar to ABC, can I write ADB and BDC are similar? Hamsini,
Yes, ma'am.
check the order
Yes, ma'am.
for me, darling. Is the order?
It should be AD.
It should be A. Yeah, tell me whoever spoke. It should be what? Whoever. Order.
It's ADB.
ADB. ADB is similar to BDC. Aditya, is the order correct?
Yes, ma'am.
D is 90. D is 90. Okay. And I've already marked, see here, I've already marked ABD, that is this, is equal to DCB. Therefore, they are similar. Okay. Now, can you apply similarity and tell me, guys, why suddenly all the cameras went off? Now, look at the last statement and apply outcome of similarity, which is the sides are in proportion. Can you tell me what happens? Which sides are in proportion?
Ma'am, for which pair?
The last one, I'll mark in red for this pair. These two triangles, the fact that they are similar, tell me the outcome of the sides.
AD by BD.
I'll write AD by BD
Is equal to BD by DC.
BD by DC. Is he correct? Everybody, don't write. Look, Josen, is he?
Yes, ma'am.
Angle,
Yes,
opposite
ma'am.
angle A is A and opposite angle B is X. Yes, this is correct. I'll just write AD as A, small a, BD as W, BD as A, DC as X. Huh? I did a mistake. Hold on. I wrote it wrong. What should I write? How much is AD is W? AD is W.
W by
BD is A, DC is X. Right, people? Now, look at this. Doesn't this imply A squared is W into X? By the way, for the right triangle ABC, what is BD? Can somebody tell me?
Altitude.
Thank you. It is one of the heights where the hypotenuse is the base. Do you all agree to that? Shreyans, Hamsini, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Therefore, if I know how an altitude splits the hypotenuse into parts, if I know these two parts, I can find the altitude of the right triangle. This is called, this is one of the application of the geometric mean. Got it, guys? The A squared is W into X. Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, how did you get angle ABD is equal to angle BCD? Ma'am?
See here, to prove similarity, two angles A works.
Yeah, okay.
So for the second line, or let's take the first line itself, we know angle A is common between ADB and ABC. Then angle ADB is equal to angle ABC 90-90. So they are similar. In similar triangles, it means the remaining angles should be equal, no? This is what you've done in the entire similarity chapter. Abhishek, good morning. Prelims is coming, dude. And this video is being recorded. If I put this to YouTube, but Abhishek, always ask. I might just have fun, but I no way I'm putting you down. Thank you for asking. Maybe others had this in their mind, but they didn't ask. Are we all good people? Okay, make a note of this. Why, you know why I'm linking back this year, term 1, you have similarity and you have ratio proportion. This can be one of the questions. Got it? So the height squared is actually equal to whatever the height splits the hypotenuse into, the product of those two. Kavya, pause here and make a note. Okay. The geometric mean is called that because it shows up in geometry, right? If you draw an altitude to the hypotenuse, then it splits. The ratio in which the hypotenuse is split into pieces is given by A squared is equal to root of BC. That's all. Same thing I've just summarized. Okay. Moving on. Oops. Hold on. I forgot to rearrange. Just give me 1 sec. First question. Find the mean proportion between 4 and 9. What is the mean proportion between 4 and 9, Joseph?
Ma'am, like it's just 4, okay, like that. So then that will be x square is equal to 4 into 9. So 36 is 6 months.
Clear, people?
Ma'am, why don't we write plus or minus 6?
I was waiting for somebody to answer that. Guys, can I write plus or minus 6?
Ma'am, but -6 cannot be between 4 and 9, right, ma'am?
Minus 6 cannot?
Cannot be between 4 and 9, right, ma'am? So it should be only 6, right?
But what is the condition for mean proportion? What is the condition for mean proportion? A, as long as A by B is equal to B by C, 4 by minus 6, isn't this equal to minus 6 by 9? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm talking to Daksh. Daksh is talking to somebody else. Huh. But the only thing here is, it's not about negative numbers or anything. In general, when you're comparing stuff and you're talking about ratios, right? Then you're talking about positive integers. Okay, guys? Technically, your answer is plus or minus 6. In your books, if it is ML Agarwal, RS Agarwal, sometimes you see positive, negative 6 not coming into the picture. But technically, it is still correct. Okay? Okay, guys, cool. What is the geometric mean of 2, 3, 36? How do we do this? You know to find geometric mean between 4 and 9. How will you find between 3 numbers?
Do we like multiply all of them and find the square?
And find the
Square.
cube root. Okay, I'll tell you, remember this. If you have to find geometric mean of n numbers, you will multiply all those n numbers, find the nth root. If there are 3 numbers, you will multiply 2, 3, 36, find the cube root. Clear? Work on that. And the third one, I'll pause the recording. Resume. Kavya, only focus on question number 2. The geometric mean of 3 numbers is you multiply all the 3 numbers and find the third root. Okay. Similarly, find the nth root. Work on it and ask. Guys, next one. Quick. Shreyans, what's the answer?
28.
How much?
28.
20?
28, ma'am.
28. Daksh?
1 second, ma'am.
How long, guys? Make it quick. Shruti, how much?
28, ma'am.
28. 14 square is equal to 7 into x. 14 square is 196 is equal to 7 into x. 196 by 7 is 28. Why so long, Daksh? Okay.
I got confused now.
With what? What is there to get confused? 7,
Ma'am.
14, comma
About
m.
the-
14 square is 7 into m. Guys, prelims is of no use if you guys are not paying attention. Next question. Read it carefully. Okay, guys, now my question to you all is, can you tell me if I told Harish, hey Harish, you and Aditya share my property. Okay, you have 2 choices. I'll say Harish and Aditya, hey, share my property either in this ratio or this ratio. Which one do you prefer? How would you know?
3 by 5.
How do you know that's better?
Like
It's more.
Me-
Huh?
3 out of 8 parts is bigger than 2 out of 13 parts.
3 out of 8 parts is bigger than, what did you say? 2 out of 11 parts.
2 out of 13.
2 out of 13 parts. Do you all agree to him?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
To him.
Yes,
Do you all
ma'am.
agree with him? Okay, so what he's actually trying to do is find out which ratio is bigger. How can you do this? One common thing is you have threes. Supposing I told you 1/11 and 2/11, obviously you know which ratio is bigger. In this case, just make the denominator the same. How do I make the denominator the same?
LCM.
Yeah.
Correct? So this becomes 33 upon 55. This becomes 10 upon 55. Which ratio is greater? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So they would rather split in this ratio. Harish would rather split in this ratio. Harish, I've written all my property to an NGO, so I'm so sorry you won't get anything. Okay? Write this down, comparing two ratios. But you'll get all my math books and my decor items and my poetry, okay?
Ma'am, we can cross multiply also, right?
Yeah, yeah. Done. Can I move on? Next question. If A is to B is equal to 2:5 and B is to C is 4:3, then find A is to C. These are very simple 9th, 8th grade questions. Next question. If X is to Y is 5:12, Y is to Z is 8:3. I'm extending the same concept. Z is to W is 9:16. Then find X is to W. X, Y, Z, W. 5:12. 8:3. 9:16. I'll pause recording, work on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Kavya, just multiply all the three. You'll get the ratio X is to W. Next question. To 30 plus X upon 8 plus X is actually equal to 3/2. So 66 plus 2X, 24 plus 3X. Right, guys? Very simple. That's why he got X as 42. Everybody got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ritvik. So these are the types of sums where you will have to find unknowns just based on the basic property of proportion. Okay, we'll finish 3 or 4 of that sort and then get into theorems. Next question. I don't know the question number, but after this, we will track the question numbers. If A is to B, Ark, please join the breakout room for CBSE. Is 5:8. find the ratio 3a plus b is to 7a minus 2b. How would we do this?
We should substitute, right?
What will you substitute?
Like
Ma'am, 5x
a by b is equal to 5 by 8. So a will be a will be 5 by 8 into b. Then we'll substitute the value of a in 3a plus b is to 7a minus 2b.
Yeah, okay. So one thing, guys, he says is, look, substitute for one variable with respect to the ratio and other variable, okay? Now, all of you look here, you could also do this. Let a by b equal to, oh, I've already written it there, is equal to k. Correct? So what is a? It is b into k. Right? Substitute. You can do this and finally put things back, or substitute in step 1 itself. You can do both. Let me pause recording.
Ma'am,
A ratio a by b is equal to c by d. Then, if I just reciprocate both sides, what will I get?
b by a is equal to d by c.
What is this called?
Inverted to.
Because what am I doing? I am inversing it. I'm reciprocating it. So if A is to B is as C is to D, which means the same thing, then the outcome, the first theorem is, then B is to A is as D is to C, means you have just inversed the places. See, B is come to A is gone to B, D is come to C is gone to D. This theorem is called invertendo. Make a note. Which means anywhere you want, you see this, you can even write this. Why? If you ask, hey, why am I keen on writing this? It may help me simplify some expressions. That's all. Any theorem you use here is to simplify expressions.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now what we will do, I take a ratio and I will alternate the terms, which means I have A is to B is as, excuse me, A is to B is as C is to D. Okay. Then, you know how, don't write, peoples, don't write, just listen. I'll write this in the ratio form. A by B is equal to C by D. Okay. Now, you know, when you have this equal to sign, whatever I perform on this side, I'm supposed to perform on that side. You all know that. So let me say, all I will do is multiply both sides with B by C. Is that okay, Shruti?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's like cross multiplying, ma'am.
No, I'm just multiplying both sides with B by C. I'm not cross multiplying it. I'm multiplying both sides with B by C, by virtue of which these get cancelled. What am I left with? A by C becomes equal to B by D, which when I write in the ratio form is A is to C is as B is to D. You know what happened? I just alternated these two terms. That's why this guy is called alternando. alternando. Means you have changed you've alternated the terms. Yeah, I've just written that statement in the statement form. Ignore. Oops. I need some space. Hang in. Sorry. I have, there is a proportion. Okay, which means A by B is equal to C by D. Okay. I'm adding 1 on both sides. Allowed, Shruti?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you're adding something, another word for adding is called compounding. Right? Something increases, an asset increases in its value. You call it compounding. So here, when I take the LCM, it becomes A plus B by B is equal to C plus D by D. Clear, guys? So how do I write this in the ratio form? I can write this as A plus B is to B is as C plus D is to D. This is called componendo. Because I'm adding. Compounding means you're actually increasing its value. This is third.
Now for dividend, we need to subtract 1, right?
Yeah. Now I'll ask you all a question. If A plus B, A is to B is as C is to D. Guys, are you all done writing? Yes, no.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Listen, if I said if A is to B is as C is to D, tell whether this is true or false. A plus B is to C plus D is as B is to D. Is this true or false?
Ma'am, it's true, ma'am.
True.
Why?
Because it's the same thing as componendo, ma'am.
Ma'am is component and alternate.
Yeah, you know what I did? I took the ratio, I compounded it, I got this. After I got this, I alternated this, which we learned in the previous step. If I alternate this, I will get this. So I began with this, I applied componendo, then I applied alternando. And hence this is true. Do you all agree how you can club two properties or theorems and proportion and use this? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when you're thinking of ratios, all you think, guys, is can I alternate? Can I reciprocate? Can I add? Now we look at what happens when you subtract. So the fourth theorem, I have A by B is C by D. I will subtract 1 on both sides. What do I get? A minus B by B is equal to C minus D by D, or A minus B is to B is as C minus D is to D. This is called dividendo. Why is it called dividendo? Because when I divide, I'm actually reducing its value. Okay. Don't go by the operation subtract and divide. They're different, obviously. But when I divide or when I subtract, I'm reducing its value. So remember that as subtraction. -1, you end up with this. If I alternate here, the result could also be a minus b is to c minus d is as b is to d. This means I'm applying alternando. Done? Can I move on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now you just have to remember this. If A is to B is as C is to D, we know that A plus B by B is equal to C plus D by D. What is this called?
Component.
This also implies A minus B by B is equal to C minus D by D. What is this called?
Dividend.
Okay, guys, when I have
Dividendo.
two ratios in proportion, if I say 3 by 4 is equal to 9 by 12, what happens? This is one ratio, okay? This is another ratio. Can I divide this by this and see what happens this side? Can I? Can somebody do that for me? What is 3 by 4 divided by 1 by 2 equal to?
3 by 2.
What happens to 9 by 12 divided by 2 by 4? 3 by 2, right, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So that is the same thing you're doing here. You call this 1, you call this 2. All you're doing is dividing 1 by 2. So A plus B by B upon A minus B by B definitely is equal to C plus D by D upon C minus D by D. What are you left with? The denominators disappear. Therefore, you get A plus B by A minus B is equal to C plus D by C minus D. This doesn't have a special name. It is called componendo and dividendo in the same step. This is a theorem in itself. The name is componendo and dividendo property. Or if you write it in ratio form, Vidgyar guys, I know you know, but write it and repeat.
Ma'am, what is this property called, ma'am?
Componendo and dividendo, that's all. If you want a new name, combined name, you give it. Done? Next one. Guys, if I gave you a question, consider A by B is equal to C by D is equal to E by F. So here you have three ratios in proportion, okay? Can you prove that this entire thing will in turn be equal to A plus C plus E divided by B plus D plus F? This is given, guys. This is given. You need to prove this. Okay, so once you say each ratio is K, people, look at RHS. RHS in the numerator, you have A plus C plus E, correct? So if I take these individual ratios, if A by B is K, what is A? It is BK. Right, Aditya? What is C? It is DK.
Yes, ma'am.
E, FK. Clear? Can I pick A, C, E from these and substitute in RHS? So A plus C plus E is actually BK, DK, FK. Upon, I'll leave BDF as is. K is common. BDF, BDF. Didn't you get K back? You started with RHS, which is A plus C plus E upon BDF. And you ended back with K. And K, you know, is either A by B or C by D or E by F. This property, guys, is called equivalent ratio property. This is the, I forgot the number, invertendo, alternando,
Sixth, ma'am.
componendo, dividendo, sixth one. This is the sixth theorem. So if somebody, you can ask me, hey, why are we doing all this, guys? If somebody gave you a big number like 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 11 by 2 plus 6 plus 8 plus 22. You see each one of them is in the ratio 1 by 2. Your answer is 1 by 2. Did you all get that? People, did you all get the application in green?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll pause recording. Question. If A plus 3B plus 2C plus 6D, oops. $60 into A minus 3B minus 2C minus 60. Sorry, guys. Is equal to A minus 3B plus 2C minus 60 into A plus 3B minus 2C minus 60. This is given, okay? This is given. Then prove that A is to B is as C is to D. These are your application sums. You know all the theorems, but how would you apply? What bad? Okay, all of you will work on this together, okay? Did you all write the question?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody? Okay, put the pens down and pay attention. First and foremost, do you observe that a long expression like this is reducing to something as simple? So it is going from a complex expression to the simplest form, means that is possible if and only if things cancel out. Do you all agree? Right? Your 3Bs, 2Cs and all should somehow cancel out. So the first idea that you should get is, observe, I will rewrite this in the ratio form. No. Guys, tell me I made a mistake. This into this is equal to this into this, means this will come down. A minus 3B plus 2C minus 60 is equal to A plus 3B minus 2C minus 60. I'm just getting one term. I've cross multiplied. Do you all understand what I did?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now this is like A by B is equal to C by D, or because A and B are used here, I'll use X and Y so you guys don't get confused. This is like two ratios in proportion. X by Y is equal to U by V, something, nobody cares, U by V. What are the properties you know? Wait, Shreyans, if X by Y is equal to U by V, tell me componendo and dividendo, or just componendo. X plus Y by Y
Yes, ma'am.
is equal to
U plus V by V, ma'am.
by V. If I asked you, if this is given, tell me dividendo. Tell me dividendo, please.
Ma'am, X plus Y by X
Dividend.
minus Y.
No. Only dividendo. X minus Y by Y is U minus V by V is dividendo. Now, Siona, tell me componendo and dividendo property. Or Harish, tell me componendo and dividendo property.
X plus Y, X minus Y is equal to U plus V by U minus V.
Yeah. So, Siona, when you have two terms, on top you add, in the bottom you subtract. On top you add, the bottom you subtract. Remember it like that, guys. When you're learning something new and things are abstract, speak it out. Don't be embarrassed whether you're alone at home or you're in the class. Speak it out, because when you listen to the own words, you're actually putting it back in the memory. Right, everybody? So how to remember componendo and dividendo? Add numerator, denominator, by subtract numerator denominator is equal to add numerator and denominator by subtract numerator and denominator. Okay. So why are we doing that? Because my only chance of cancelling certain things out is by adding and subtracting. Shall we try that? People, Vibgya people, shall we, is that what I should do? Shall I try componendo and dividendo together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's add, which means add numerator and denominator. What will I get, people? 2a, 3b cancels, plus 4c, dd cancels out. Clear? Denominator, subtract a minus a cancel each other, plus 3b minus of minus 3b is 6b. 2c cancel each other, plus 12d. Are you all with me so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Is equal to, tell me what happens this side, numerator. First you add, so you'll get 2a, 3b cancels, minus 4c. Some sign is extra. Have I written it correctly? Something tells me I've made a mistake. Wait. 1 minute. Huh? Guys, this is plus 60. Made a mistake in the question. So this is plus 60. So they cancel each other out. Then when you subtract a cancels out, 6b minus 12d. Daksha, are you writing?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. I was just seeing.
Now, what can we do further? Josen or Hamsini? We want to simplify it further. What can we do?
Ma'am, invertendo. Oh, sorry, alternando.
Alternando. Chirayu, why do you think alternando, you want to apply alternando? Tell me.
Ma'am, then it will become of the form 2a plus 4c by 2a minus 4c.
Very good. Very good. Chirayu said, look, my goal is to cancel things out. I can cancel things out only if they are like terms, right, guys? 2a, 4c, 2a, 4c, right? Their pairs are lying in different places. Hence, we will alternate. So you will say, first you will use alternando. Okay? What happens in alternando? 2a plus 4c upon 2a minus 4c becomes 6b plus 12d upon 6b minus 12d. Siona, Shreyans, Hamsini, Josen, okay with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Siona, tell me what you can do. I want to cancel things out now. What property should I apply? Whatever I did here, I will apply componendo and dividendo. Right? Guys, all of you remember this. To bring like things together, you use alternando. To cancel things out, you always use componendo and dividendo. Okay? So, Siona, help me. What happens with when I apply componendo and dividendo here? Add numerator and denominator. So tell me what happens.
Ma'am, give me a minute.
Yeah. numerator, denominator. Add numerator and denominator. Two a plus 4c plus 2a minus 4c. 4c gets cancelled. You get 4a. Clear, Siona? Right? Subtract
Yes, ma'am.
numerator and denominator. 2a plus 4c minus 2a plus 4c. 2a cancel each other. 4c minus of minus 4c is 8c. Oops, what am I doing? 8c below. Did you all get that? Guys, say a
Ma'am.
yes or a no.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
ma'am, why can't we simplify 2a plus 4c by 2a minus 4c as 2 into a minus 2c by 2 into a
You
plus
can,
2c?
you can. Here only they will simplify. You're right. You can do it there or you can do it here. My bad. Okay. Let's finish it. Guys, finish on the right hand side for me. Quick, the other students are coming in. Right hand side, numerator plus denominator, Josen.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, 1 second. Ma'am, it will be 6b. So 12b.
12b upon
Ma'am, bottom 12. Once again, ma'am. 24 dear.
cool. So let's, what happens here? 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 2 cancels each other. You're left with a by c is equal to b by d, but that is not what you have to prove. Again, you'll use alternando and say a by b is equal to c by d. Clear, guys, everybody? So between these two steps where I put a green line, you have alternando again. I'll pause.